Well, we live in a world where there is a lot of bad news. If you pick up the newspaper, if you talk to your neighbors, that there is just a lot of bad news in our world. And so that means that we need some good news. And Jesus has came to give us good news. And the good news today, if you don't remember anything else, it's that God loves and pursues us. God loves and pursues you. When I think about the condition of the world that we live in, I lament. We live in a world where the cycle of poverty continues to be unabased. We live in a world where crime is undeterred. We live in a world of social injustice and economic hardships and violence in a variety of different forms. We live in a world of haves and have-nots. We live in a world where there are those that eat and there are those that go hungry. We live in a world where there is hate. We live in a world where there is sin. We in this Christian community, we find ourselves in the interim between the inauguration of God's kingdom and its final realization, between the first break of dawn and the full light of day, between the already and the not yet. In a world like this with so much bad news, the fact that Jesus came and told us that we could be forgiven and that we could be free from sin and have a new life, that is good news. And this is only possible through the gospel. We call it the good news of Jesus Christ. Well, for a few minutes, I want you to look in the book of Luke, pardon me, chapter 15, beginning with verse number 1. It is a familiar story where the tax collectors and sinners were gathering around to hear Jesus. But the Pharisees and the teachers of the law muttered that this man welcomes sinners and eats with them. In other words, you're not supposed to eat with sinners. Here's the table. A low down, dirty, nasty sinner. Over here, you've got a tax collector. Despicable, because they were considered a traitor by the Jews, because they were collecting taxes for the Romans. And not only that, but sometimes they would charge the people too much money, and then they would get rich off of it. You saw that in The Chosen. Are you with me? And so the Pharisee and the teachers of the law was looking at Jesus and asking the question, why in the world are you eating with these low down, dirty, nasty folk?